he said to me that when you become a grandfather, you fall in love all over again. And that's what happened. Hillary and I have our granddaughter for 3 days. Last night, my granddaughter, 9.5 months old, for the first time when I walked in the room, she said, "Oh, there's your granddad," and she turned around and pointed at me. That was worth more than anything anybody has said or done for me or paid to me or anything else, and I don't know about the Sundays. Everything you said about it is true.
Yeah. Well, last night my granddaughter spoke to me in Mandarin.
That was funny. That's good. That's very good. Former Presidents Bill Clinton and W. Bush at the Presidential Leadership Scholars graduation ceremony earlier this month. Their unlikely bond is the cover story of the latest issue of Time magazine titled Game of Thrones. And joining us now, editor of Time magazine, Nancy Gibbs, and Time magazine's Washington bureau chief and executive editor, Michael Duffy. Oh, the two of you together again. This is a great cover. I mean, a great get.
Yeah, it was a dream for us, obviously, to get the two of them together since we've been chronicling these friendships for a long time. But this one, we have never seen this before. You have two former presidents who know each other really well. Their families, vacation together, who are now each sending one of their loved ones into the ring. It's unimaginable that we would be watching this. So we wanted to hear from these two guys. What is this like for you? Are you going to be able to stay out of it? What role are you going to play? What does this feel like? And that's what we got them talking about.
So there was a moment where I guess Hillary thought no one would vote for her. Tell us that story.
President Clinton said that the first time of 3 that he asked her to marry him, he said, I want you to marry me, but you shouldn't. You're the best Paul of our generation. You have the best command of the issues. You ought to go back to Chicago and run for office. And her response, he says, was, "Oh my God, no, I could never do that. No one would ever vote for me. I'm way too aggressive."
Oh God.
Michael Duffy in Washington. Unsurprisingly, not surprising at all, but part of this relationship has its roots in the temperament and the good nature of 41, George H.W. Bush, and a note that he left for Bill Clinton on his desk in the Oval Office when Bill Clinton became president. Could you tell us about the note?
Yeah, they leave notes for each other when they depart, and 41's note to Clinton was all, by the time you read this, I'll be rooting for you. That affected Clinton. That obviously, how Clinton treated his predecessor, Bush 1, really affected the relationship with, that would develop into Bush 2. Now they've gone to Haiti together and worked there. They do speaking gigs together, which is a lucrative little sideline that 41 refers to as white-collar crime. And recently they've started a presidential scholars program with a number of the presidential libraries. That's why they were both in Dallas together. And they really have kind of become friends, and they know each other's shticks and moves. They make fun of each other. They kind of call each other out for trying to, when they try to lower expectations. Clinton has a great run he does on Bush about when Bush pretends to use big words, and he makes fun of himself for using big words. And at that point, Clinton says, when I hear him give me that stuff, I just reach for my wallet because I know that he's up to something. And so it's it's quite an interesting relationship. Now, and of course, they're aligned in a different way, too, Joe, because we're in an anti-establishment, anti-dynasty moment in the party, both parties in this campaign. Both parties are looking for alternatives to these two great big families. And so there's some interest, I think, that they have in sort of appearing together at this right now.
It's a fascinating relationship, as Michael says right now, because of the fact that you could have either the husband or the brother of the next president of the United States in this pair. And you got George W. Bush to talk about Jeb's campaign, just says he's pulling hard for him. He says, I'll be on the sideline, and happily so, unless my brother calls. It'll be interesting to see as we get far along how much Jeb does connect his campaign to his own brother.
Well, it's obviously different. We don't necessarily expect siblings to be part of the race, whereas spouses are a different story. But one of the things that was interesting listening to President Bush talk about was what it's going to be like when people are attacking Jeb. He says, when someone you love is in the race and is being attacked, it really stings. And he said, it really affected me with my dad, and I'll be interested to see what affects me with Jeb. So he's even anticipating. They are pretty calm, though, I will say. Here we've been talking all morning about, the prairie fires that are burning across the country. And W says, look, it's easy for us to be patient. We've been through this. We know how it goes. There are going to be these flashes in the pan. There are going to be funding issues. There are going to be these sort of shooting stars. And in the end, it's all going to turn out fine. The party's going to nominate the best person who they obviously think they know who that is.
Okay, also on this issue, really quick, I love this concept. We don't have to talk about it because you can read about it and it's awesome. In praise of the ordinary child. I've already read a part of it. I love it. And literally in the second page, it's like if a child shows like a flicker of talent in math, they're put on the pre-calc track, all these tracks. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay just to have an ordinary child.
Maybe it's better.
Maybe
if you want it to be happy.
Okay, everyone read that one. Nancy Gibbs and Michael Duffy, thank you so much. Still ahead,